Oh, hello, hello. Welcome back to Almighty Blues FC, a fan channel for all to see. और yes, आप बोलोगे यार चेल्सी तो एलिमिनेट हो गई कप कंपटीशन से, लेकिन वो ही नहीं है यार. इट्स अ लॉन्ग सीजन. वी हैव अ लॉट ऑफ ट्रॉफीज टू प्ले फॉर. जस्ट नॉट चेल्सी. एंड आप देख ही रहे हो स्क्रीन पर एसी मिलान वर्सेस इंटर मिलान. It was a big derby, especially for those AC Milan and Inter Milan fans. We know what we're talking, right, Fateh? And of course, I had to get on Fateh for it. So, Fateh, how have you been?
I've been good, although Feb's been a horrible month for Inter Milan.
It's been bad, I think, throughout Italy. We'll come to that in detail. It's been underwhelming. मेरी नजर लगी है फतेह. मैं बोलते आ रहा हूँ, I think last few streams से, yeah, Serie A is basically the league to go for this time. But I don't know, like no one wants to win it. Put it that way. But we'll come to details, Fateh. And again, people watching, thanks for joining. I hope बहुत लोग join करें. And yes, for that you'll have to like that stream. एक like button है, और अगर आपने subscribe नहीं किया तो subscribe भी कर दीजिए. And do give Fateh a follow. His socials are below in the description. We will have, hopefully, Chirag is going to join us, and that is when we will have some Chelsea talks. Yes, we don't want to dwell with the past, but of course, like I said, there is the FA Cup. A lot of other games also, जो हम discuss करेंगे quickly. There is a history associated to it. But talking about history, nothing like the Milan derby. But yes, shout out definitely. Of course, Pranam bhai, आपको भी Sports Talk with Mahim. Shrey, of course, always great to have you, brother. So, Fateh, I don't know where to start. It's a Milan rivalry. It's at the San Siro, which is technically and the home stadium for both. It is, if I'm not wrong, at home for AC Milan.
AC
But
Milan, yeah.
but that's crucial because I think it is Coppa Italia semi-final, where this year probably is going to be the final year where the away goal will count. So it's that is the interesting part for me. But just a Milan derby, I know we'll come to the recent history, but which are the games which you remember, like a couple of games that you remember from back in the day that you say that okay, wow, what a cup game, what a derby game it was.
My memories of the cup games are when Ronaldo was playing for Inter Milan, and I keep watching those games over and over again. Gattuso, there was this fascinating game where Gattuso got Ronaldo sent off. So the little terrier, Gennaro Gattuso, who's a Milan legend, and rightly so. And then El Phenomenon, Ronaldo. So I think my best memories of the cup games are from that era where Lippi was on the bench and Ronaldo was on the field, and it was so short lived for us Inter Milan fans.
Interesting. Well, yeah, well, a lot of memories are there, but of course, we remember, like you spoke about Ronaldo. Luis Figo is one that towards the end he came on, like that was great, and I think Zanetti and whatnot. These are games. Jose Mourinho, like Jose Mourinho was there. He loved that derby.
Yeah.
I remember that when he was there again. That was probably the last time, if I'm being honest, where the derby was really up to the mark. Where it's again looking like it's back, right? And which is what I'm loving about this year because we saw in that game. I know, just throwing back as an AC Milan, not a fan, but like you people know, like I do have a soft corner, and it's a proper battle here. People with the paddle, Fateh, that is, being an Inter Milan, ultra that he is. But that 2-1 victory, that Giroud getting that brace, Theo Hernandez, whatever he got, as in the sacrifice that he made towards the
Yeah.
end, those tactically, as in gamesmanship and whatnot. Would you say that edge that maybe Stefano Pioli's side has got this year compared to other years of Milan, where Inter in recent years have been good, right? As in, what do you see different from Milan?
I think Milan this season have more experience and more grinta, because if you talk about the cup games, last year we played AC Milan in the Copa. That was the game where Ibrahimovic got sent off. He had a fight with Lukaku. And then in the second half, Ericsson scored a goal and we won that game 2-1. A few weeks later, we played AC Milan in the league and we beat them. We thrashed them in that game, rightly so. We dominated them. So, that's how we won the league last year. And now, if I look at this year, at the end of January, we at Inter was so comfortable. If we had won that game against Milan in early Feb, we would have been +7 at top of the table. It would have been fantastic. And we were playing very well. The first half definitely belonged to us. The second half, AC Milan, they just had that mentality, that grinta that I just said, that they came back into the game. and in those 5 minutes they changed the game completely. And
Well
it's
said.
possible, Ankit, that they've changed our season completely.
Wow, that's a brave call. But first of all, big shout out to Sports Talk in Mahim. Thanks a lot. For those of you who do not know, this is a very first super chat. So thanks a lot for that. Really appreciate that. Of course, it's just a start. A long, long way to go. And of course, with all you, you guys, I'm hoping that we'll all have fun in the coming, months and years together, right? But certainly a big shout out. And here, even though Inter dominated the last match against AC Milan, but Giroud makes a difference. But today, 2-1 to AC Milan. Okay, we'll come to the predictions. Keep it close to your chest right now, because we'll be talking tactics, what is available, what is not, a little bit of history when it comes to Coppa Italia, especially because this question. Firstly, actually, let's take this. Sassuolo, I think they beat Inter, if I'm not wrong, right? Oh wow.
Absolutely. And Ankit, even in the first game, they dominated us in the opening 45 minutes. I mean, we could have been 3-0 down in the first game in Sassuolo. We came back and won that 2-1. But this time, they finished the game off. They finished us off in 25 minutes. They just cut us off every time on the counter attack. And Scamacca and Fratesi and Raspadori. I mean, these are three players that are being linked with Inter Milan, that Inter Milan is interested in, and they put on a show that night against us. So, I mean, I think Scamacca's value just went up.
Yeah, and we'll come to this. We'll come to the Juventus game as well. Slightly, we have to talk about our rivals, and of course Lautaro. We'll come to the scoring or non-scoring ability. But again, big shout out to Sports Talk in Mahim. What is your prediction, bro? Mine is AC Milan. So again, I said that we'll wait for predictions, but now that our brother has kind of contributed, let's actually go for it to begin with. Again, people in the chat, you might as well go for the prediction right now. By the way, just so you know, this is the first leg जो हो रहा है, वो हो रहा है सैन सीरो में. ऑब्वियसली दोनों का ही घर है टेक्निकली, लेकिन इट विल बी काउंटिंग दैट एसी मिलान का घर है एंड इंटर के लिए अवे गोल्स काउंट होंगे. तो दिस इज गोइंग टू बी लास्ट ईयर एंड द फर्स्ट लेग इज द two-legged semi-final of the Coppa Italia. The other semi-final is between Fiorentina and Juventus. So Fateh, I'll put you on the spot to begin with. What do you think?
The predictions?
Neutral hat, yeah, neutral hat.
For you, no, for the Juve versus Fiorentina game.
दोनों के लिए कर देते हैं quickly. Let's
I think tonight we'll see a KG draw. I'm going for a 0-0 or a 1-1. I think both teams, because of the away goal. And it's the Vlahovic derby. I mean, Fiorentina versus Juve, that's going to be such a tasty game. But I think Vlahovic will score against his old club. So Juve takes that game 2-1.
Okay, big shout out to Shrey FC as well, of course. Always great to see your comments. Italiano has done super work at Fiorentina. You know what? I think management is the key, and that's what I think Serie A is. People who actually follow Serie A for a long time know that it's far more tactical than what people actually think. A lot of people actually don't give the credit for. Yes, I am an AC Milan fan. First of all, you're my best friend. If you're saying that, because I think you all know, as in I'm wearing Kaka right now as I speak, right? When Leao is on fire. But talking about fire, I would say that none of the teams in Italy are on fire. And I'm not saying wrong, because Napoli, they got, I don't know, bamboozled by Barcelona at home. I think even when it comes to Coppa Italia, it has not been so pleasant for Inter Milan over the years as well. I think it'll be a decade that Inter Milan hasn't won the Coppa Italia.
2011.
Do you remember, Fateh, when was the last time AC Milan actually won it? Anyone in the chat?
Wow, I mean, I think, I can't recall when AC Milan
you
last
can think
won.
for a minute. I'll just take this. So Sports Talk is mine. First of all, big up to you again. Chelsea's match watch along. I think you're asking about Luton Town versus Chelsea, जो हम आएंगे second half पे towards the preview. ये match कल रात को है. तो let's see, as you know, one of us will certainly do it. Or when I say one of us, it's going to be either me, Baba, or Chirag. So do you know how it works, right? We definitely will cover it. You will have a watch along. So surely, yes, Fateh, any idea? I can give you a hint. काका के बारे में बात हो रही थी ना, तो काका का पार्टनर था in basically crime. He was Shevchenko scored,
Yes.
and that was back with Rivaldo and Shevchenko scored, and
Wow.
that was
So
back
2002,
in
2003.
Roma, yes.
Wow.
It's a really long time. So something's got to give, and I think recent games, maybe I think we spoke about what happened in that Milan derby recently, in the 2-1 win. Earlier in the season, जो हुआ था draw match. I think last season Inter Milan ousted AC Milan in the quarterfinals. And
Absolutely.
correct. And
Yeah.
overall, if you see Coppa Italia derby matches, I think Milan have won 10, Inter Milan have won 8. So
Yeah.
it's टक्कर की proper होने वाली है, and I really fear a red card here. How do you see the game going generally? Like I know you said a close
Absolutely.
game, but
You said red card, and in the last derby, what Theo Hernandez did, and a lot of Inter fans, a lot of Inter players were very angry. I mean, there was a lot of fire in the tunnel after the game. Bastoni got suspended for 2 games. So I mean, yeah, I totally expect a very fiery game tonight. I mean, I think Theo Hernandez could even be targeted if he plays. But Ankit, you have to remember AC Milan are playing Napoli at the weekend. So that's a top of the table summit clash. Whoever wins that, is going to have a massive advantage in winning the league title. So I mean, are AC Milan going to be playing their main 11? That's another big question.
True. And again, like people जो देख रहे हैं, again, please do smash that like button और हमें बोलिए if there are any technical issues, if you're seeing any lag, because I just kind of upgraded my internet, so hopefully things will be better. अगर है तो बोलिए, I will restart it. But of course, great discussion going on. And yes, do stick on to learn क्योंकि हम FA Cup के बारे में भी बात करेंगे और a lot more. By the way, people who missed out, we did cover, not to get political, but of course we want peace when it comes to Ukraine. We did cover about what role Abramovich is having, and हमने एक video किया था, so do check that out after the stream. That'll be interesting. I would love to hear your views. But talking about quickly, I'll put in Chelsea बीच में क्योंकि हाँ, today is Mendy's birthday, Edward Mendy. So hats off to him. Almost got us the game in the last final, but absolutely great. But coming back to
Ankit,
this
I have
Milan,
a question. I have a
yeah.
question for you that all non-Chelsea fans have. Would Mendy have made a difference in the penalty shootout?
Oh, coming back to that, you know what? I was thinking not to relive that because that is a bad memory now. But I'm proud of the team. But in hindsight, it's a beautiful thing. Like I always say, of course, Mendy was in that form, but so was he in maybe the Super Cup. Super Cup, maybe I think he literally Villarreal were deserving winners in 90 minutes, if I'm really being honest. So we did the same thing. It worked. So that is a plan. I don't think going against the plan would have worked in either of their favor. So I think it's only fair that we do it. But yes, can we discuss about today's City match? Yes, of course, we'll come to that. So the plan is we will be discussing, of course, the Milan derby. Then we'll come to the FA Cup, where we'll take predictions of all the match and of course quickly discuss that. So do stick around. And again, do share the stream. It helps, and press that like button. But talking about this particular derby, like let's talk about basically the head-to-heads in terms of players. So let me try and show what I am expecting this particular lineup to be tonight. Of course, injuries की बात कर लेते हैं फतेह. तो if I'm not wrong, Tonali is missing. He's suspended
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
AC Milan. Ibrahimovic is not fit yet. Inter Milan, I think Korea, is he yet missing?
I think he's about to come back, but I don't think we'll see him tonight. Gusins might be back. I think they're saying that Gusins could be on the
Yeah.
bench.
On the bench, you know what? I am actually reading reports कि आज Guzans शुरू करेगा. So I am surprised क्योंकि Lautaro Martinez, people out there who don't know, hasn't scored a goal since I think December 20th or something, right?
Absolutely. Last goal
So
was a Super Copa penalty against Juventus. That doesn't count. He's just, yeah, he's what a
exactly.
letdown.
So you for me, it's strange that Guzans is absolutely brilliant. You've been waiting for that moment. लेकिन यार आप देखा जाए तो I think if I'm not wrong, Perisic has probably been the most creative player apart from basically Barella when he's been in form. So I think Perisic is probably going to be playing, considering that Lautaro
Yeah.
is not in form. वो आपका second striker हो सकता है. He can kind of join the attack. But at the same time, AC Milan, you're technically away, right? So you might want to hit on the brake as well. So what do you think? Which is a better tactic? If you were the one selecting, would you have gone for
I
Perisic?
would not risk Gusens just yet because
Okay.
he that is what happened at Atalanta. They sort of risked him. They brought him back and he got injured again. So I would just not risk Gusens from the start today. Maybe last 10-15 minutes. I mean, Ankit, he's not played for I think almost 4-5 months now. So it just doesn't make sense. I think Perisic should start the game today, and then Gusens can come on late on. And look, we want Lautaro to score because we've got such a problem scoring goals this year. I mean, we were so good last year. This year, we just can't put the ball in the back of the net. So I think we have to persist with Lautaro Martinez, hope that he scores goals
Okay.
because
So people you're saying,
he seems like
yeah.
a player who plays on streaks. Once he starts getting goals, he'll get a lot of goals.
Also, I think weekend May, if I'm not wrong, in that particular game, you had rested him, or he
Yeah.
came out. Was he? I think you had
Yeah,
probably
I
rested
mean,
him.
we can say that he was rested, or we can say that he was
Dropped.
dropped because yeah, he was. That's how bad he's been. And when he did come on, there were a few glimpses here and there, but again,
Mhm.
the end product is not there.
Exactly. I think, yeah, but again, coming back to the form, it's about Sassuolo beating you. I think Genoa, Napoli, very unimpressive kind of matches on the pitch. Or Milan, it's not great. I would say form में देखा जाए तो Milan has probably got three wins and three draws. So technically better in all competitions. But we know that the performance against Liverpool of Inter. So I think it's about who's worse really. And you're right.
Yeah.
Martinez probably will come back for this game because of the fact that he can hit on the break. He's one of those people, which will help the Inter away kind of technically, as in this particular game. But just sticking to this particular team, I know I have Gozans here. And by the way, यहाँ पर question भी है in terms of Zlatan. Gaurav, first of all, thanks for joining again, भाई. तो Zlatan नहीं खेलने वाला है. Reports say that वो fit नहीं है अभी तक, unfortunately. But we'll come to the AC Milan team. Actually, share ही कर देते AC Milan की team because what I feel is like uh, we are missing a few players. Tonali missing hai, Zlatan missing hai. But I think in a strange way, I'm kind of confident of being solid,
Yeah.
which is something that itna bura nahi kiye Milan compared to Inter. So Giroud is one जो I would expect in a cup game to actually get a goal. And Rafael Leao has been really good. बहुत underrated होता है. I think in Europe he's not spoken about enough. लेकिन इसी टीम के बारे में बात करते पहले फतेह AC Milan का goalkeeper Magnia,
Oh,
I actually rate him like right up there. I don't know what you
absolutely.
think. Please help the audience understand जो नहीं देखते week in week out Serie A.
I mean, I think, look, Mignon is not just a shot stopper, he's a big game player. And his distribution, the way he sort of releases the ball, the way he finds Liao on the break, the way he finds Rebic on the break. I mean, it's amazing that AC Milan they've replaced somebody like Donnarumma. And,
Mhm.
in my opinion, they've gotten a better goalkeeper than Donnarumma. I mean, that's how good AC Milan's business has been. And I think, full credit to Maldini, full credit to Mignon. I mean, by far the best goalkeeper in the league. And I'm very certain, Ankit, that a lot of EPL teams are going to be looking at him. And somewhere in the future, he's going to end up there. I mean, obviously, AC Milan would want to keep him, but what a talent. And he's so young.
Exactly. And well, again, you can shout out that maybe Brahim Diaz is better suited to that, as in the person in the whole. But I think against Inter Milan, do you see AC Milan strong jayegi in terms of midfield or thoda, because Brozovic, Barella, and of course, you have Çalhanoğlu who like great as well. So it'll be a midfield battle. Do you think this is fair?
It is fair, but in the derby, Kessie was not good. I mean, I think Brozovic and Hakan ran rings around Kessie, and the moment they took him off and brought in Brahim Diaz, that's where the game changed. So I'm not so sure that Brahim Diaz will be on the bench. I mean, again, it depends whether Pioli is looking at the Napoli game and saying that that's more important. But if he's playing a full strength team, then I think he should play Brahim Diaz from the start because Kessie in the last game against us was not good.
Yes, absolutely. और यहाँ पर यार thanks again Sports Talk with Mahim again really appreciate it. लेकिन आप question भी पूछिए if you have any questions regarding any team in Serie A right now because we are talking Italian football अभी के लिए and we'll come to English football in a few minutes certainly. But yes, tactically अच्छा रहेगा because I can see a proper midfield battle and दोनों की in a strange way as much as I know Hernandez got the red card. I feel that वो एक outlet है AC Milan के लिए. At the same time, like we spoke about Perisic, Dumfries, we haven't even spoken abhi tak. So that is something that will be outlets. So it'll probably come down to who gets the better of each other on the wing because midfield mein to it's going to be a proper battle. So like you said, I can also expect like a low scoring game. I cannot expect a very high scoring game. लेकिन cards definitely रहेंगे. Having said that, that weekend game hai. So I think, Fateh, correct me if I'm wrong. Cards carry over, right? If it's a red card, it carries over for the weekend Serie A also.
I think so. I think that's
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
that's what happens in the Copa.
Okay, so it's interesting because AC Milan have a very important, game coming up. And yes, by the way, people do take that poll, and that is what the poll is about. So, Sports Talk in Mahim is asking prediction for Serie A, Inter or AC
I'm
Napoli.
saying Napoli. Why not Napoli? I mean, look at the way they came back against Lazio. I know that you guys could base something of the Barcelona game, but don't, because Napoli with Maradona, the last time they won the league title was in 1990. Maradona won them the league. 1989, Inter had won the league. It could repeat again, and they've been playing in those special Maradona kits. It's a very important year because of Maradona's demise. Do not, and their coach has so much experience. I mean, a lot of people sort of look at Spalletti and sort of look past him. He has
Mhm.
so much experience. I just feel like both Simone Inzaghi and Pioli do not have that, and I think that is where the difference will be made. If Napoli beat Milan this weekend, I'm telling you, they're going to win the league.
Wow, that's a brave call, but हाँ हो भी सकता है क्योंकि they are not in the Europa League anymore, so that's something
Absolutely.
that they have to go. But there comes a point when Napoli has to prove that they're not bottlers.
Yeah.
This is interesting. Who will replace De Vrij next season for Inter, or will he stay?
We want Bremer, Torino's Bremer, but can we afford him? I mean, do we have the money? That's
No,
where it
no is the
comes in.
answer. Sorry about that.
So no, is Chelsea after Bremer?
No, not yet, but I won't be surprised कि हम भी link हो जाएंगे क्योंकि you know how it is, right? In Europe,
Because
the
I
moment
saw him,
Inters of the world do it, we also go it.
Ankit. I saw Bremer against Vlahovic, and he was so good. He is fast, he is pacey, he is strong. I think he's got the makings of a great centre back. So I mean, yeah, absolutely. Torino will want to sell him to the highest bidder. We don't have a lot of money, but that's the player that we really want. And De Vrij's form has been so bad. You talked about Giroud. Giroud just bullied De Vrij in those 5 minutes. I mean, I think it was so sad to see. And last year too, Zlatan was going against De Vrij, getting in his head, winning the headers. So yeah, I think De Vrij's time in at Inter, and I know that you are a Dutch fan, but I have to say that his
नहीं
time at
नहीं
Inter is,
I don't rate De Vrij. As in you know me, right? As in terms of Dutch
yeah,
defense, I'm not too kind of very positive about it,
yeah.
especially when it comes to centre backs. लेकिन shout out to In Behind and Priyansh. Thanks for joining, bhai. What happened to Dzeko against Liverpool? Dzeko
See,
generally.
no, because see, look, Dzeko is a 35-year-old player. He's never been known for his pace. So I mean, trying to expect him to sort of link up with Lautaro like Lukaku did is very wrong. I mean, I think we've run Dzeko into the ground. He's played 90 minutes every game. He's playing 3 games per week. I mean, at 35, you can't expect him to do that. I think he's already scored enough goals. He's already justified why we gave him that salary. To sort of expect him to play 3 games a week, I think that's bad management by Simone Inzaghi. I think a properly rested Dzeko could have made a difference, and he doesn't have the pace, So I don't want to blame the player. I want to blame the system, and I want to blame the coach for that.
Interesting. लेकिन अभी सिमोने इंजागी को almost like what 9 months हो गए, almost you can say 8 months. I know हमने बात की थी before those Champions League games as well. लेकिन overall, like where do you rate him? Like, do you see him as a long-term kind of option for Inter?
Yeah, he will be a long-term option because look, we can't really spend a lot of money, and he's
yes.
not a coach like Conte who's going to come and attack the club for not spending money. He is a club man. I understand that maybe we'll not be able to win trophies like we did the main trophy like we did with Conte, but Simone Inzaghi is young, he is fresh, he is willing to learn from his mistakes. For example, against AC Milan in that derby, the defeat, he was blamed for those substitutions. Since then, he's been holding back on those substitutions, so he's willing to learn on his job. And I think he's in general a very good guy. I mean, look, he's a young manager. He's never managed outside of Lazio. So I mean, he is going to make mistakes, but I do think that he will keep us in the top 4 and stay on at least for 3 years.
Interesting. Again, I don't know. It's about basically the players as well. I feel that a lot of the transfers that you're able to make, वो determining factor रहेगा क्योंकि यार as in Serie A also has changed. You don't get
Yeah,
that level of stability जो
exactly,
होता था.
exactly. And
Juventus have.
we've lost.
Do
Yeah,
you agree with
absolutely.
this?
Yeah, that no, I mean in India that is true. But look, I think Juventus, what do I say? I mean, yes, we know about Calciopoli. Everybody hates them. But the old lady of Turin knows how to get results. She knows how to win trophies, and for that, I think you have to respect them for that at least.
Right, right. ये वाला definitely you'd love to answer. What do you think?
Look, I'm still sad about Conte leaving. I think Lukaku, when we made that investment, 75 million, a lot of us felt, oh man, we're never going to get the money back. When the offer came, I think it was a win-win for all parties involved. I mean, Lukaku was fantastic for the dressing room, Ankit. He's replacing Icardi. Icardi was creating problems in the dressing room, and Lukaku was so good when you compare that for the team spirit, for the team morale. But I mean, you don't say no to that sort of money. Yes, I do miss him, and I wish that Lukaku has success at Chelsea, and I know he can. I mean, if he persists, I know that he can, achieve a lot at Chelsea. But I do miss Conte because at Inter you need that strong man, that guy with grinta, that guy who just wants to win. We won with Jose Mourinho, we won with Antonio Conte, and we need that sort of personality on the bench.
Look at this. As in ये तो आना ही था. I'm pretty sure Farasat Ali is probably having a bias there. लेकिन fair enough. And of course, big up to Chirag from Football Medico who's joined us. Always a pleasure, brother. Or Chelsea Perspective who's in the chat as well. Big shout out to him as well. So Chirag bhai, first of all, welcome to the stream. क्या हाल है? All set?
बहुत बढ़िया भैया. हाल तो अच्छे नहीं है लेकिन जब भी ठीक है.
नहीं तो चिराग इज द रेफरी अभी, क्योंकि मेरी और फतेह की तो लड़ाई होने वाली थी और 2-3 क्वेश्चंस आने पर सडनली. लेकिन यहाँ पर आप कपल ऑफ कमेंट्स, एक सुपर चार्ट ले लेते हैं. ऑफ कोर्स बिग अप टू स्पोर्ट्स टॉक विद माहिम. यार आप होप कि इतने दयावान हो हमेशा, लेकिन हाँ, थैंक फॉर द सपोर्ट, रियली अप्रिशिएटेड. Lukaku returns to Inter as he wants to leave Chelsea. Well, he's telling Lukaku to return to Inter, I'm assuming. Like सीक्रेट नहीं है, मतलब किसी के लिए भी सीक्रेट नहीं है. गिवन अ चॉइस ही वुड हैव probably stayed at Inter. He's gone on record saying that. लेकिन I think more recently, let's give him a chance. He's given as in himself a chance. He did pretty well on the weekend. I will not say great, लेकिन वो लग रहा है कि वो एफर्ट डाल रहा है और वो खेलना चाहता है. He wants to prove it Chelsea. वो 2 दिन पहले I think नकारा एक रिपोर्ट आई थी कि where they said that okay, you probably are going to be again go to Inter. His, I think, agent came out and actually cleared that this time around compared to last time. So that was good to see. And of course, your Chelsea perspective, big up, brother. Really appreciate it. Always, one of the best Chelsea fans channels that I've seen. Like again, I think I say it on every stream. So do check it out, people out there. Of course, thanks for the support. Yes, Chirag, Bulia.
And we have Inter fans, so I'll ask him. Like, we have heard that Inter fans also are not in a very eager race to get Romelu back. So what is your take personally?
No, see, why Inter fans are not eager is because the financials don't make sense. We don't have that sort of money to pay him that salary that he's earning at Chelsea. We don't have the money to give him a transfer fee. I mean, we will not be able to, even if you were to sort of say, okay, for 75 million, we will not be able to put that sort of money. However, looking at how bad our attack has been, I mean, I think it's a no-brainer. If we can get him on loan, fantastic. But, is it right to go back to your ex? Is it right to go back and keep looking back? That's the question. I mean, yes, we have some young attackers like Correa and Lautaro. They're not really doing well. But I think you have to move forward, So, I mean, I think it's not because Inter fans don't like Lukaku. He was fantastic. Like I said, he was so good for the dressing room. Imagine how bad our dressing room was with Icardi. And then Lukaku came in with that work ethic, team spirit, it was fantastic, but we just can't afford him. So I think that's why Inter fans say that it will not happen.
And also one thing, if in case you get a takeover, because that was in a news for a month or so, if that happens, but do you think Lukaku will work with the same efficiency under Inzaghi as he was doing under Conte? Because that was a very different setup.
That was a very different setup. Our build-up, our play was totally geared to Lukaku's strengths, and now Simone Inzaghi's system is very different. However, I think Simone can, Inzaghi can make Lukaku work even in his system because Simone Inzaghi is far more attacking than Antonio Conte. Antonio Conte was, he was a very strict disciplinarian. I mean, there was a tactical way in which you had to get back. And we saw that with players like Barella who were, not given this sort of freedom, and they were playing better football under Antonio Conte. So, I mean, I think as a striker, any striker can work under Simone Inzaghi. I think we've seen that. I mean, like I said, I mean, why aren't our current strikers scoring goals? It's more down to them than Simone Inzaghi's system. So, yeah, I mean, I think Lukaku will score goals even if he comes back. But let's hope
that no, it is similar to Tuchel's setup. We also don't know why our strikers aren't scoring despite everything fitting perfectly for them.
Yeah, and that's what we say. No, but Inter fans, when we look at Chelsea, we wonder that last year Timo Werner was struggling and this year Lukaku is struggling. So is it because of the personnel or is it because of the coach?
We'll say it is more on personnel because if you really want to do, Timo Werner was a better off-the-ball player as well. Lukaku, we cannot say that because he is different in physical attributes. I'll say he does not have that intensity to open up spaces. He attracts players rather than taking them along with himself. So that was a bit different. But with Lukaku, things have not been good off the field as well, and things are affecting him personally as well, and the players and the team as well. So obviously some things were not online, but I am still I don't know, I have a bit of unpopular opinion that Lukaku will still come good and that will happen this season itself. I don't know why. It is very unpopular between Chelsea.
At least 15 league goals.
Yeah, he just might.
Guys, so basically यहाँ पर Chelsea perspective जो बोल रहे हैं ना, something needs to change मेरे ख्याल से, just to kind of put in the devil's advocate, like in terms of Hazard versus say Lukaku. Hazard coming back to Chelsea totally different element है. वहाँ पर sentiment can still have a place. I don't think Lukaku का इतना होगा, considering जो हुआ है recently. लेकिन again like Chirag said, we'll be very happy if he comes back certainly. और भाई यार बहुत लोग join कर लिए, hopefully सब लोग join किए हैं, सब लोग पोल ले फर्स्टली, और प्लीज लाइक द स्ट्रीम. लेकिन हाँ, चेक द डिस्क्रिप्शन, क्योंकि फुटबॉल मेडिको को आपने नहीं किया है सब्सक्राइब टू योर मिसिंग आउट ऑन लॉट्स, सो डू चेक आउट द डिस्क्रिप्शन. एंड जैसे मैं बोलता हूँ, गिव फतेह अ फॉलो एज वेल. यस, ब्रेमर टू यूवेंटस हम बात कर चुके ऑलरेडी. लेट्स एक्चुअली ये मैं लेना चाहूंगा एज एन एसी मिलान काइंड ऑफ फैन. तो एसी टोनाली इज व्हाट मेक्स एसी मिलान क्लिक. मेरे ख्याल से टोनाली इज एब्सोल्युटली फैंटास्टिक. ये एक वर्ल्ड बीटर होने वाला है इन वर्ल्ड फुटबॉल, एंड मार्क माय वर्ड्स व्हेन आई से दैट. ये बंदा will be going places and he's not going to stay in AC Milan for long, as much as I would have liked कि वो AC Milan में रहे, क्योंकि AC Milan has a long way to go अभी भी.
But Ankit, he is an AC Milan supporter as a kid, I think.
लेकिन बहुत लोग होते हैं, that is reality in today's football ना. मतलब you move whatever be it. आपको अगर best of the club बोला है, AC Milan, as much as I would love to say, it's not in that league anymore.
Please take Priyan's question as well.
Yes, of course. Abraham is beast next season if Roma buy good defender, then next. यार वो ये Serie A में it's half season. Let's see, long run में what is the case.
Actually, it was not crying. I saw the interview. It was him being frustrated now because every English media, they asked him. The press conference started with 3 questions about the thing we should not be naming it. And then after 2 or 3 injury news, again a reporter comes and asks about the same thing. How is he liable to speak about that? And the question is, how do you legit? One of the questions was that how do you think your owner will be dealing with what is going on? He is not his personal secretary. He is not his personal assistant. He will be answering, and whatever relations Roman had with the club, he has put them on hold. So all these questions should not even be a thing right now. And the best thing Tuchel did was rant at the journalists, because next time you won't be saying that. That is the best thing right now.
Absolutely. और ये प्रियांश भाई यार, आप तो चेल्सी फैन हो, come on, like if you're only saying crying, as in those are not terms that we would associate it, because आप अगर देखो तो like Chirag said, it's basically a proper response to something जो crossing the line था, and it was not one, and back to back questions आ रहे थे for something which is not football. So it's absolutely not done. And I think let's move on to the game, Chirag and Fateh. Let's talk about the game. हम questions पर आएंगे वापस से, and of course यहाँ पर we will have FA Cup talk. Of course, one of the trophies एक comment आया था पहले, probably the last trophy that Chelsea can win. Technically, we can still win the Champions League. We are champions of Europe, and we are not bad in that tournament, if that's an understatement itself. So, but let's take it one game at a time. Obviously, हमें super chat लेना पड़ेगा. What's your prediction? Will United finish top 4? चलो पहले United पर आ जाते हैं. आप पूछ रही है तो United का हम डिटेल में डिस्कशन करेंगे by the way कल और परसों. So do join us as well. मैंने स्ट्रीम पे अभी बात की थी इन डिटेल, एंड द फैक्ट दैट आई फेल्ट अबाउट यूनाइटेड इज अबाउट जस्ट अबाउट देम गेटिंग दैट मोमेंटम. 2 गेम्स आएंगे, थिंक दे विल प्रोबब्ली गेट देयर, बट इट्स इन आर्सेनल्स काइंड ऑफ आर्सेनल. इफ आर्सेनल लूज इट, इट्स फॉर देम टू लूज, नहीं फतेह?
Yeah, but don't Manchester United have more experience than Arsenal? Like with Aubameyang also gone, I'm looking at that Arsenal team, and I think when it really, the pressure really gets to you, I don't think Arsenal will be able to cope with it. I mean, Man, you have players like Ronaldo.
Yeah. But I just want to say that is the problem with United. They are not able to manage their players well. And Arsenal with a younger squad, Arteta is able to manage them very perfectly, and that is the gap we are seeing right now in the table. Because I agree that the March period will be very heavy for United and Arsenal, both of them. United has to play in Europe, and Arsenal has other stacked fixtures coming up which they have missed earlier. But I feel Arsenal right now have the persona to do that, but United has the clutch players, and in football, clutch players are important. And Pratham, I just read this after reading your comment from the comment section. मैंने just अभी check करा है ये, and for the same, I am going to have a live on my channel after this. After and ये अभी प्लान हुआ है, मुझे भी नहीं पता था, मैं अंकित से भी पूछ रहा हूँ भैया
मैट लॉ बोल रहा तो यार देखना पड़ता है, मतलब वी हैव टू डेफिनेटली लुक एट इट एज मच एज आई पर्सनली डोंट लाइक द एजेंडा ही हैज बहुत बार, लेकिन वो बोलता है तो है, उसमें है सब्सटेंस है.
नहीं मैट लॉ इज tier 1. मैट लॉ इज tier 1. You cannot do that.
And guys, as a very I'm very curious about politics and history, and I will tell you that the sanctions against Russia this time are going to be very serious. Not going into the details, but yeah, I mean, it's going to be very serious. So Roman Abramovich's money is going to be under a lot of stress. So I think if you guys do get sold, this is probably the right time.
Yes. So again, people, there is basically a tournament, FA Cup. Abhi, let's get back to the football. चेल्सी की बात कर लेते हैं चिराग, दैट यू आर इन द हाउस, एंड ऑफ कोर्स फतेह एज ए न्यूट्रल हम जानना चाहेंगे आपकी क्या राय है, क्योंकि यस लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स गॉन went by in that Carabao Cup final and बहुत emotions थे. As just to update you guys, Ziyech is out. He's definitely not playing. He's not going to be featuring in this game against Luton Town. Again, Luton Town anyway did not expect him to feature. In terms of other injuries, he has not given us details. लेकिन मेरे ख्याल से एस्पिलिक्वेटा took a knock versus Christensen, जो I think ट्रेनिंग के दौरान Achilles प्रॉब्लम हुई थी. So I doubt Christensen will really be available. Aspilicueta might be available just by, तो इसलिए मैं डाला हूँ अभी के लिए इस लाइनअप में. The reason मैं 3-4-3 नहीं गया हूँ चिराग is because of the fact that I think वही है कि यार Reece James played 70 minutes, जो was more low than what we expected, right?
But I don't think Aspilicueta will be playing. To be honest,
so
he's also had a lot of minutes.
So we'll get a youngster in, right? Who else is there? Right back. Right back.
Trevor Chalobah.
So centre half, Thiago Silva तो बहुत खेला है recently. Knowing Thiago Silva, I really doubt if he'll play. Christensen injured है. So people, any options for Chelsea at centre back against Luton Town away? By the way, I have to obviously.
Sir, I'll tell you centre backs. I will go with the back four. I will start Chalobah, Rudiger.
Yes.
Xavier Simons, or maybe if not Simons, I'll put in a man like. I'll put in Xavier Simons for this match because the time he has played at Chelsea, he has been fine. Okay. Yeah, Super Tommy Tuchel, we are going to have a live on this at 23:45 Indian Standard Time on my channel. So you can join in. We will have a complete discussion with Ankit Bhaiya if he is free.
Absolutely. हम बहुत डिस्कस करना बनता है उस पर, तो बहुत ही मेजर है, लेकिन let's see how it happens. लेकिन coming back to this, like Luton Town,
will you play Rudiger again? That is my point. कितना खिलाओगे यार बेचारे को? That is
नहीं, वही है ना, ऑप्शन वही है. प्रॉब्लम है कि अभी सिल्वा और क्रिस्टियनसन को नहीं खेलने वाले, वो तो पक्की बात है, राइट? In this game, I wouldn't want to bring in Boyamba or someone, क्योंकि I think someone already said FA Cup is probably a best chance, not a only chance, but best chance एक और ट्रॉफी के लिए. मैं तो जाना चाहूंगा एक गेम के लिए, क्योंकि I'll tell you why. We have played Luton Town, I think last season under Lampard. 3-1 था. Tammy Abraham scored. Luton Town, just to give you a background quickly, people, एक देना चाहूंगा. They are 6th in the championship. So 6th in the championship, and they are in the reckoning for a potential,
playoff spot,
promotion. Exactly. Yeah. There is a chance. Or वही नहीं. I think they have a proper manager who has got them up. Derby County को I think they beat over the weekend. Or they have one EPL legend. I'm sure Fateh will know. Robert Snodgrass of West Ham and West Brom, he's actually there in Luton Town. So I wouldn't be surprised if they actually have a proper game. It's at their home, जहाँ पर I think they've hardly lost. So we have to take them seriously. Plymouth Argyle last round था हमारा, and we all know what happened. It went to extra time. So that's why I would like to play. Of course, people जो थोड़े fresh है, but at the same time there is some amount of experience needed. इसलिए Jorginho, Rudiger, एसपी अगर फिट है तो मैं इसलिए डालना चाहूंगा. बट आई डोंट नो फतेह, व्हाट इज योर टेक ऑन बेसिकली द एफए कप? व्हाट शुड चेल्सी गो फॉर?
Initially, I thought, Luton Town, easy win. Now that you've said they're sixth in the championship, that means it's a very serious team. So then you have to play your main players. I'm just hoping that Lukaku starts scoring. I mean, he's a good guy. And you want to see good guys come out on top. So I'm just hoping that he scores goals and he just gets his mojo back.
That's what ना मतलब अगेन ऑपोजिशन फैन मेरे से अग्री होंगे यहाँ पर जो स्टेटमेंट बोलने वाला हूँ. अगेंस्ट फ्लैट ट्रैक बुलीज यू प्ले बोथ हडसन-ओडोई एंड लुकाकू एंड आई एम श्योर बाबा अगर सुन रहे तो वो भी अग्री करेंगे. अगेंस्ट बेसिकली लूटन टाउन हडसन-ओडोई इज आइडियल टू ओपन देम अप एंड ही एक्चुअली हैज इट इन हिम. वो करता है इन गेम्स में. सेम विद लॉफ्टस-चीक बाय द वे. लॉफ्टस-चीक लुकाकू एंड हडसन-ओडोई मैंने इसलिए डाला है जस्ट फॉर दैट सीजन. सो आई काइंड ऑफ अग्री. नेक्स्ट सीजन माउंट को लीव करना चाहिए. ओह माय गॉड, ही इज द वन ऑफ द
करना चाहिए.
He should leave to Real Madrid.
Yeah, you are a Real fan. I know Farsad Ali. I remember. Yes. He is a Real fan. I remember.
But this is the kind of game that Luton Town are going to be living for. I mean, you guys are talking about resting players, but for them, this is it. Like, imagine the stories tomorrow, and if Chelsea lose 2 in a row, and with what's going on with the ownership, I mean, I think Luton Town are going to really play the game of their lives then.
Yeah, it's a proper David and Goliath game. The thing we say, but I trust Tuchel in knockout games that we do not surrender as of now. That is the situation. But and Ankit, I just want to say that Tuchel will not go easy on this match against Plymouth. Almost our first team played against a team like Plymouth. So we already have so much squad depth that you might see many players starting, and you'll say, "Oh, this is a very good squad for Chelsea." You might not see many surprises. Obviously, Lewis Hall. And who all trained? It was Lewis Hall, Soonsup Bell, and one more guy who trained with Chelsea today. The first team,
Simons, I think Simons itself, right?
No. Simons. One more player. I'm forgetting. Maybe in defense. Harvey Vale did.
Soonsup Bell must be Bayamba, right?
No. It was Mbuyamba, and contract situation is going very off.
I don't know if anyone in the chat is aware of that. मैंने actually story नहीं follow की है, but I think
I'll tell you. Yeah,
they will feature. Let's be honest. Luton Town is not like Leicester City even, right?
Yeah, never.
लेकिन they can do it on the red, like फतेह said. तो वो बेंच पर तो रहेंगे, लेकिन वही starting I really doubt. लेकिन you know what? Let's actually take the predictions यहाँ पर. Luton Town versus Chelsea. It's an away game. After that, heartbreaking loss for Chelsea. क्या लगता है आप लोग को chat में? Get in your predictions. Luton Town versus Chelsea. Chirag, what is your prediction?
2-0 narrow win. No, not a narrow win. I'll say a comfortable 2-0 win, and do it. Keep the scores done. Do not stretch it. We have a lot of problems off the pitch to solve. So don't bring in problems on the pitch to solve.
Exactly. यार एक्स्ट्रा टाइम नहीं चाहिए. मैं तो इतना बोलूंगा. फरासत अली सेज चेल्सी 5-1. और हाँ, हम न्यूज पर भी आएंगे. आई थिंक देयर इज सम न्यूज that we are talking about, that we already spoken about. लेकिन फतेह, what do you think? We should be good, right? Come on.
I think a 2-1 win for Chelsea. Luton Town will score, because you're saying that you're going to be resting Azpilicueta, or Thiago Silva is not going to be playing. So I think they'll get a goal, but I'm hoping that Lukaku scores and Hudson-Odoi, like you said. So the two flat track bullies, I hope they score.
Okay.
3-0 to Blues. Thank you so much, Priyansh.
यहाँ पर ले लेते हैं quickly. Broja news, is he coming back in? As in, I would back him any day. What is your gut, Chirag, यहाँ पर?
I feel he will come back, because going off Lukaku is not a very good solution. That, see, we are being linked to Robert Lewandowski, Erling Haaland, very slight links, but we are being linked to players like these. But I don't feel we are getting another 100 million worth striker for depending on the price, whatever we get that free or something. But I do not think we are getting a high profile striker after Lukaku. Lukaku will stay in the squad, and we will have Broha and Havertz rotating with him and complementing the system.
Yes. मैंने वहां पर लेस्टर सिटी का मेंशन इसलिए किया क्योंकि हाँ, आज रात को एक और मैच है, if I'm not wrong. Burnley are playing Leicester City.
Okay.
I don't know, all of a sudden my table
Burnley are the favorites.
Favorites छोड़े Chirag. You know what? Again, people, so Burnley are 21 points. Leicester City are 27 points. With obviously Burnley having games in hand that we know of already. So imagine Burnley will be basically a couple of points behind Leicester City if they get a win tonight. All of a sudden, Leicester City and Brendan Rodgers are pulled back. Yeah, Everton, Leeds. We already know what happened with Bielsa. Again, kudos to Bielsa, but I think Jesse Marsch will be great. And I know हम आएंगे उस पर. Fateh knows Jesse Marsch well. But what do you think, Chirag? Leicester, where are they going from here?
Uh, See, at a point in the last month, I was that Brendan Rodgers might be sacked. But Brendan Rodgers has a connection with the Leicester squad similar to Simeone and Atletico. So that is very unlikely of Leicester to sack him. It might be Brendan Rodgers who finally gives up, but I do not see that happening in middle of a season. It might happen at the end of a season or before or beginning of a new season, but I do not see that. And the quality Brendan Rodgers has in his squad, he should be putting them back on track. And obviously, the thing you mentioned, obviously, those are numbers. You cannot compare Burnley with Leicester, putting it straight. Or numbers
लेकिन
say
अब
that right now, but not definitely not.
striker Vardy अगर comes back, that may be the difference maker. I think reports say that he may be back finally. लेकिन Jesse Marsh, what do you think, Fateh? For Leeds?
I mean, look, his Red Bull Salzburg were good, but then his Red Bull Leipzig was so bad. So, I mean, it's 50-50 right now. I mean, is it the right decision? But I think the good thing is that language barrier is not going to be there. He's a coach who, in that German tradition, likes playing that very attacking, high pressing game. So, I'm hoping that it works out because I think we want Leeds United to stay in the Premiership. I mean, it's a legendary club,
No,
you know.
no, we don't. We
Man,
definitely don't.
I'm with Chirag. For me, यार, come on, Chelsea, as a Chelsea fan, you cannot love Leeds at all. At all means at all. लेकिन मैं वही बोलूंगा, बियल्सा का थोड़ा सा सरप्राइजिंग था. He's at the age that he is, but in spite of spending so much time not getting that language, to some extent मेरे ख्याल से there has been some kind of gap, because him not changing the football after so long, I know that's him, but
Yeah,
it's kind of
it's
strange. There was
El
something
Loco
missing.
will never change his football, but there's this interesting stat about teams that get promoted in their second year struggle so much. I mean, so many of these teams, they come up, they have a very good season, and then the next season, because it's almost like the other teams have sort of found them out. And if you don't sort of change your tactics, I mean, I think Sheffield was the team that came up and then just went out the next season.
Yeah,
I think, yeah.
that
So I mean, it's
that is a second year curse, and that is not just for Sheffield. It has happened for
yeah,
many teams right now.
many teams,
Second year,
many
you
teams.
go out,
You
and
go out.
that
So I
might
mean,
happen to Leeds. Yeah, please, please.
yeah, absolutely. But I don't want Leeds to be relegated, man. I mean, it's a one of those
For the
royalty
neutral, I
clubs.
understand. I
Yeah,
understand.
Yeah,
yeah.
No, no.
But
I,
who do you see going out then? Going down, I mean.
I'm hoping for any of the sort of unknown teams to go down. I mean, I think
Brentford.
Brentford won't,
Brentford is
right?
a good bet, right? Brentford is a
No,
good bet,
no,
I
no,
think.
no, no,
No,
no.
no, 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 no.
Brentford, after what they have done in the starting of the season, they deserve to
Yeah,
stay, and especially their manager deserves to stay in the Premier League.
I think Brentford next season, not this season.
Second year curse to them as well.
Second year's curse, not this season. No way, not this season.
Yeah, because
Um,
table ही दिखा देते हैं, because it's very interesting that you say that, क्योंकि the way my calculations go, I think Brentford are probably favorites because of the form. आप form भी देखो ना. I'll just show you the screen 1
No,
second.
no. I think they will manage something, or somehow they will do something.
Yeah, I think Burnley, Watford, and Norwich will go out. I somehow don't see Everton and Leeds, being in that. I don't know. I just hope the
And
name.
for me, Watford, Norwich, and Leeds, because I do not see Newcastle. Definitely, they have taken a very big leap
Yeah,
now. Everton
Newcastle.
also, I do not see them going down. And Burnley and Leeds will have a toss up. That is my only
Yeah.
concern. And in the form Burnley is, I will be stupid enough to call that for Burnley.
Yeah, that's a great call as well. And yes, Norwich or Watford, तो हम more or less everyone is kind of assuming that they're going down. But it'll be about Burnley, Newcastle kind of coming up जो है form पे, versus Everton, Leeds who are just falling down. I think Jesse Marsh timing सही है. As much as Bielsa is respected, and I know he's brought a lot to football, again it's a right timing for Jesse Marsh. I think he can probably get them. That's what I would say. As a basically just trying to be the neutral for a second. Having said that, there are a lot of FA Cup games as well. Apart from that, again, Man City fans in the house, you wanted us to speak about Man City, but let's be honest, they're going to basically, I don't know, easily win. If that's an
Yeah,
understatement,
and
Peterborough.
if we actually have Man City fans in the house, please tell me, do you want a watch along today? Because I am ready to do a watch along for City, but do you really want me to get up till 3 to watch City bashing a team? That too not in the Premier League.
I
Do you
I
really
have
want me to do that?
volunteered. Imagine that. I have volunteered for that.
No, because they have asked me to do City watch alongs, and I have taken the responsibility. So should I do that? I really want to ask you guys.
Yeah, same. Even I got a couple of questions, but I think it's about the numbers. If we have, we'll be happy to do it. Again, people do comment. Like now, Peterborough United versus Man City. I don't think there's a point of taking predictions. Let's be honest, unless it's a super upset वो होने वाला है Man City का game. I think interesting Middlesbrough versus Tottenham होगा. फतेह Middlesbrough Manchester United के साथ जो की है, they have a couple of good players there. We know a couple of players from the Premier League. लेकिन what do you think? Spurs in the FA Cup?
So it's the last trophy that Spurs can win this year.
For
Every
the
year.
many
For
coming
last
years.
decade.
For
So
the
I
many
mean,
coming
yeah,
years.
but it's the Conte connection, that Chelsea, that Inter connection. I mean, look, I am stunned that he has lost 4 games in a row. I never really expected that to happen. And looking at him coming out in the media, if Middlesbrough do it, for all we know, Conte might just resign. I mean, so I'm all for an upset here.
Yeah, and by the way, people have started chanting Conte already in Spurs, so it's pretty sure what the Spurs fans want. Like it's not up to them. It's really up to Daniel Levy and Conte. And as we see that we have, of course, our legend Eugene in the house. The Spurs fan, the legend that he is. Of course, big up to you join. But Eugene, what do you think? It's really going topsy-turvy the way your season is going. Let's have a prediction from you. What do you think, will be Spurs last position? And about tonight's game, what do you think they'll be able to beat Middlesbrough? Because Middlesbrough are very impressive. What happened to Wadi? Reports say that he's kind of coming back. So he should be back from what I hear. I'm just checking as I basically speak that he is set for an injury return. So he was injured. But yeah, certainly it's time that he's coming back and he helps out Leicester because Leicester need him. Kulusevski is magician, but Allegri never gave him a chance. But under Conte, he became a different element. I think Kulusevski you can add for the year because of watching Syria.
Because Kulusevski did not work in a UA system. The 3-5-2 and the 3-4-3, they didn't really play that. They played that a lot under Pirlo, and he just didn't fit in. So I mean, he was a player who did well in the 4-3-3 with Parma. I was surprised that Conte wanted him, but now I'm seeing Conte use a 3-4-3, and Kulusevski is doing well. But again, that's as an Inter fan, I don't want Kulusevski doing well because that means that if Spurs make the Champions League, then that's an automatic buy. They have to buy Kulusevski, and that means that Juventus get bailed out with money. So I don't want any of that happening. So I'm really hoping that this doesn't work out.
Nice.
But yeah,
there's always some battles going on here. That is what we love about football. But yeah, big shout out to Anshuman from the United Road. People do check out the United Road as well. Again, I'll quickly shout out to the United Road. By the way, I was on this channel just last hour. What I was talking about United, we had a great discussion. Big shout out to even Spurs Vision TV, and that is Eugene's channel. Do check it out. Yes, it's a Spurs channel that I am recommending, a Chelsea fan, and you can understand it's a good channel. That's why I'm suggesting that, right? And big shout out even to In Behind, Priyansh and Dhruv run the channel from what I remember. Caught and Bold, of course,
and Abhishek.
cricket fans out there.
And Abhishek,
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Our Sparsh, who's not a Spurs fan, definitely big shout out to him. Sports Talk with Mahim, of course. Thanks a lot for the support. Chelsea Perspective again. Simply put, my favorite Chelsea channel out there. So do check it out, people. And of course, Football Medico that you are seeing. Chirag Bhai always here whenever I need him. Best support that I can have in Fateh right from the day one, probably almost. So I think we will probably have our international. I think the qualifier discussion going on. If you are game for it, Fateh, and then we repeat our internationals. We know about that, right? So we'll have some fun.
Spurs जो तो chat में thank you कर रहा है, पैसे भेज दे. Thank you नहीं बोलते, सीधे पैसे भेजते हैं.
सही है, कोई नहीं भाई अपने घर की बात है, बट डेफिनेटली थैंक्स सब लोग. लेकिन उसके अलावा कोई है इंटरेस्टिंग कोई मैच है चिराग एफए कप में? आई थिंक
मैनचेस्टर सिटी बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग मैच है, बता रहा हूं मैं.
नहीं, साउथहैम्पटन वाला सही रहेगा ना. साउथहैम्पटन वर्सेस आई थिंक
नॉर्विच वर्सेस लिवरपूल. नहीं, लिवरपूल कौन है?
Liverpool एक they will be in that, they'll be high after that game na, after Carabao Cup final.
No, now he will go all मतलब very easy to Liverpool. Klopp, and you might see an upset.
और maybe Norwich by the way लीग में तो कुछ बचा नहीं है, उसके लिए यही बचा है बेचारा. डीन स्मिथ इतना लेट गया है कि यार मतलब बचा कुछ मिला, and he can only do. I won't be surprised this game में Liverpool versus Norwich. यार कुछ स्टोरी चिराग याद आती है? बिली गिलमोर in the cup game, FA Cup.
Versus Liverpool, making his debut, man of the match performance. Klopp भी like एक और खिला दिया.
Yeah, Lightning does strike twice. Let's see. But हाँ, Southampton West Ham for मेरे लिए काफी interesting, of course, for Broha. Let's see वो खेलता है कि नहीं. लेकिन that is something that मैं look forward कर रहा हूँ. But yes, exclusive Barcelona full agreement to Christensen, 99% done. Gerard Romero.
No, not 99%. मतलब I really don't know, Pratik, if you are saying from some source, different source, but मैंने जो आज सुबह पढ़ा था around the afternoon time, वो यही था कि he has an agreement in place with Barcelona, but not 99% वाली चीज. मुझे नहीं पता. Gerard Romero को I'll check, and I really don't trust Gerard Romero as of now.
हाँ मतलब I will not say so reliable, but again
no, not so reliable considering Chelsea. He might be for other clubs, but not Chelsea.
Not Chelsea. I agree with you there. But Bayern Munich, हाँ हम certainly बात करेंगे. Like we do cover a lot of Bayern Munich, especially Champions League football में तो हम काफी cover करते हैं. But we'll try to get on some Bayern panelists as well if you're wanting. I do have someone that I know. लेकिन वही है कि यार he's in European time zone, so yeah. Sometimes क्या होता है.
Gerard Romero has given that 99% thingy, but I really don't know if I should be relying on him, because Christensen with his talks in his after-match conferences and talks, he does not look that he wants to leave. That is my point.
यार ऐसे तो शायद ही कोई apart from Lukaku कोई लगा नहीं है जो wants to leave.
No, but like as he is still in that midst that we are in talks, Christensen is like, I have made my desire always clear that I want to be here, but let's see what my party and the club decides.
Who is the perfect replacement for Christensen, Chirag?
Koundé. No one else than Koundé.
Yes, no problem, Eugene. I know it's a different time zone. Thanks a lot for joining. Yes, Sachin, हम उसके बारे में बात करने वाले हैं on football.
Yes, I have scheduled the stream, guys. You can go and check that.
सही है चलो तो I think आज के लिए इतना ही करते हैं. I know Fateh has to go. Chirag also has a stream जहाँ पर hopefully I'll join sometime. लेकिन हाँ फतेह मिलान डार्बी अभी कितना ये लिटरली 1.25 घंटा बाकी, राइट? आ रहा है टीवी पर, आ रहा है? एनी आइडिया for people out there?
I don't think so. Last 2 years it was on YouTube. Now it's not even on YouTube. Yeah.
So bad, man. That's something that I don't kind of give them the credit for, the Indian broadcasters, but it is what it is. हम ढूंढ लेंगे जुगाड़. That is something that we know as Milan fans, beat Inter Milan or AC Milan. लेकिन last words, फतेह क्या लगता है, मतलब gut feel and how you feeling throughout?
I'm not feeling good at all. Like, we've not won a single game in Feb. I mean, this is the month we could have won the league. We could have been running away with everything, and it's just totally collapsed. And I think the morale is very low. I know that we need to win, but I don't have any hopes. I think at best a draw.
And Ankit, your predictions for the FA Cup game, you have not given that.
हाँ मैं तो मतलब I'm definitely going for a 2-0. I'm actually with I think one of you also went for 2-0. चिराग का ही था ना 2-0?
Yeah.
तो चिराग का मेरा prediction more or less I think 90% same ही रहता है. I think we are on the same frequency more or less.
इसमें सही भी होता है ना.
Exactly.
We know the results.
नहीं लेकिन I think एक early 2-0 especially क्योंकि अब मैं ज़्यादा जाता, लेकिन the fact that हम इतना 120 minutes खेले हैं, I cannot see entire team changing. इतने injuries भी है. I'll take a clean sheet. That's what I want. लेकिन हाँ चिराग, any final word from you?
Thank you so much. And guys, whoever has curiosity about Roman and everything, we will be discussing on like 15 minutes from now on my channel with Drog Baba and Ankit Bhaiya. Both are in, and maybe some other people who just replied to me on time. Let's see. And thank you so much, Ankit Bhaiya, for calling me. Great talking to an Inter fan, because I'll say not an easy way to connect in sitting in India, but with Ankit Bhaiya, I can do anything. I can have people from all over the globe.
Anyway, again, people, thank you to the panel, or do check out Football Medico. Do give Fateh a follow as well. Description पे सब मिलेगा आपको, and we'll meet very soon. हम कल ही most probably live है at the same time, so we'll join again. Or yes, do like the stream, share, subscribe, and keep the blue flag flying high up the charts. Get in.